Hi, everyone. Everyone doing okay? What a move in EG once it took out this 8940 on well, it was Monday night. Huge move. Stelios is going to have his chance to sell it where he wants to. Forgot where he wanted to do it. Are you there, brother?
92 and 93, somewhere between there, depending on price action. Hey, good
Okay.
morning.
Good morning. So that looks very doable. 78.6 is 93.09. So we'll see. I mean, this looks impulsive to me so far. What's interesting about euro pound is if you can identify an important area, and I'll say my mistake was, I was shorting it against 89.40 and everything got out of the way once it started closing over 50, um, was not to reverse. So I knew coming in to this week, euro pound was good or bad over this area. So I guess I could say at least I didn't fight it and that it would have been, pretty huge hit. So, I think one of the toughest things to do is to reverse out of a trade that's not working. So, like all of you out there, all of us are still um, learning. No matter how long you've been doing it, but to get your body and your mind to react to something like that, it takes a lot of work. So, I'm saying to myself that next time I have a critical area like that and I'm playing it, I could use a reverse stop. I don't know if anyone's ever done that, but say you're short one unit, and instead of just having a one lot stop, you could have a two lot stop, which is going to flip you from being short to being long. I'm going to promise myself I'm going to do that next time. And the way to do that is to write it down. Reverse at critical areas when you're wrong. Okay, you could write that down, that it's okay to reverse. In fact, it's a pro move to be able to do that. So, we have ECB tomorrow. Perhaps we're going to get some short covering into it. The census break, which was something that I called last week on the dollar rally, this decline in euro has been kind of a grinding, almost a little bit of a wedge that we have working here. Oh, and I'm sorry if I didn't say good morning to everyone. Good morning, Alexandra and Sa, NG, Ren, Brock, all the regulars here. Look forward to seeing you guys every morning. Arena, how are you? So, we could have, today's Wednesday, but we had Monday off. You can almost treat it like a, you know, second day of the week trading, like a Tuesday. We had follow through strength, Shalom, Shana Tova, L'chaim, Amira, um, and the Dixie right here. You could see on some shorter term time frames that, at new highs up here, it's diverging. You could maybe count this as one. I thought this was going to be one, two, three. So you never know. Sometimes what you think is going to be a third drive morphs into something else. So now you could say, one, two, three. How you doing, Sinatra? Really, this is I could put into practice this. So I'm short the dollar, and what's a key area in the Dixie? I know you guys know. It's that 94 area, isn't it? Where it failed from up here. 94 is pretty big. So closes over 94, I think, can take you up to 95 and a half or so, which was also a real big area. Right here was a breakdown at 95 and a half. Here's a moving average coming in at 402. So that's going to be a big area. Um, today, tomorrow into the ECB. We get through that, we have 95.5. If not, I still think there's a chance for some type of pullback from here. You know, 61.8 back is going to be around 92.40, which is around the 2-week off number. So we'll see what happens in the next couple days. Yesterday, I was being a cynic about gold testing support again right here. I said, you know, how many times is it going to do it before it breaks down? Well, it held again. And that's why, unless you're trying to get a lead into a breakdown or lead into a breakout, you do nothing. It's still do nothing. I don't know if I'd wait for a daily candle, but say you get like a 2-hour close under 1910, you have a sell signal. And if the dollar is going to come off, and that's what I'm waiting for, is if when the dollar comes off and breaks about a point from here, I want to see what gold does. And you know what? You can't fight it if we start breaking out. I'd say getting back above 1950 is going to give it a pretty good chance to attack the top of the triangle. Everyone with me? So we're getting a pop in stock indexes today. To me, you know, it wasn't the cleanest divergence, but you had one. A little bit too wild for me to trade, but I could see us rallying from here. Maybe this was enough down here at 33. Um, it looks good to enter where on the long side, just buy this pullback. Or I know some people I saw on CNBC that bought it yesterday. And something else that could help risk, I mean, this was really a directional move in crude. I mean, you broke $7 or more in 5 trading days. Once we took out this 42.40 level, it was pretty much a straight line move. And perhaps we get a rally back to 39 to 40 for a sale. So I can't press this crude down here, but I'd be looking for some type of retrace move in the coming days or weeks. To get short crude, it looks like a top to me. It looked like a top here when it really wasn't performing with a weak dollar. It wasn't performing with risk. So now if we get a rally with risk and S&Ps, start looking at it 39. There's your 4 hour. So we have a lot of confluence. I best guess would be against this low. This was the only reaction we had. And this low is at 40.21. I don't know. The fires are spreading everywhere. I'm getting warnings. And actually, it's early in the fire season to be having this. It lasts through October. But yeah, there's a lot of chaos, a lot of warnings coming across our phones and television. And I think today we're supposed to have like 45-mile-an-hour winds, which could. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sansi. I think I may have seen the same guy there. I think he was talking about that we're stuck in a range between 35 and 45 for a long time. I disagree. I think we could take out wherever we rally from. He is very energetic. Okay. Our president would like that. He likes high energy people. Was he the same guy that called the top in Tesla and some of the other high flyers? But I watch CNBC, and actually I do turn the sound up once in a while. So I want to talk about, the pound almost looks just like the oil. What a directional move to the downside. We're looking at it. Really hard to get short down here after a big break like this. You would think that we could get some type of rally in the days. I mean, look at this. Let's see where the fibs are now. Okay. So at least wait for a 38% retrace if we're bottoming here. Maybe back to 31 to 32. But, I can't pull the trigger. If I'm going to be long something against a dollar with EG doing what it's doing, what's it going to be? I mean, your preferred long is euro, right? That's why EG is doing what it's doing. And until EG turns back down, it's going to stay that way. So once EG took out 89.40, your bias switched from euro being your preferred short to being your preferred long, and cable being your preferred long to cable being your preferred. Well, mine doesn't have to be yours, but preferred short. That's the way I look at EG. So, EG could be very helpful even if you don't trade it, to make choices between the European currencies, the euro and cable, as to what your preferred longs and shorts are. Canada finally, with crude breaking, finally went to work. It's back above this line. Okay, I mean, this was a pretty big trend line. A lot of people were watching that it took out, and now it's back above it. Last week, my comment was after the close, that was a pretty weak response to crude getting hit, right? And risk off last week, and then this week it came to life. Not sure what to do with it right here. I've looked at some of the work, some of the counts by the team, and most of them remain negative for that this is a rally to sell in USD CAD. So we'll see. I don't see anything that I really want to do here. Yen is really tough. It's, you had this down day yesterday and now it's reversing again. So I don't know. It looks like a rectangle and we're in the middle of it. Okay, Italy will get out after the elections. When are their elections, Amira? Anyone know when Italy's? I bet Stell knows. And I've heard that from one of my guests that that's a possibility. So, anything can happen in this environment. Interesting that Aussie is acting okay compared to European currencies. And I think that's about risk on. So the S&Ps are still heading up. And gosh, I'll bring Blake in because I know he has to do his bias chart and likes to get back into the saddle to trade by half after the hour. So Blake, sorry I blabbed a little bit longer today.
Hey, good morning, Coach.
Hey, brother.
No problem. How's it going?
Good, man. Okay, pretty good. It cooled off a little bit here.
Yeah,
Even though
it cooled off by good 10 degrees over here, so we're good.
Yeah.
Well, not great, but
Yeah.
Hey,
got a
I
month
want
left.
to, I want to say I'm putting in our registration link to
Oh.
the Trader Summit. If you guys have not done that, make sure you do it. Make sure you register because this is a pretty damn cool event that's coming up. So make sure you guys register for this. Get your spot so you don't have to listen to the recording. So you can be there, listen live if you want to. Amazing event with amazing speakers. Apparently, I am. As I found out yesterday, I'm going to be interviewing Daniel DiMartino Booth, which at least I've got the Dallas connection there since I lived in the Dallas area for 13 years. So anyway, make sure you get registered for that. Now, as far as today goes, today we're seeing a little bit of recovery, a little bit of bounce in the market. It is Wednesday, as you pointed out, Dale, but it might be like a little bit of turnaround Tuesday after yesterday's sell-off. Might get a little bit of bounce and risk. One thing that makes me a little nervous about what's happening right now is the euro is trading pretty heavy. As you can see, the euro, we're trading below 118. And we're getting, not only are we trading below 118, we're actually getting comfortable below 118. So, if you're a Euro bull, you're probably going, wait a second, this is not these dips below 118 have been bought every time, and every time we get this dip below here, it bounces. So I'm starting to get a little nervous about the euro, and I think what we've got to really focus on today is going to be these lows right here at 117.10. I think that 117.10 is that low. Hold on, let me just make sure. Well, we're going to write down 117 because it's basically there.
Okay, ECB tomorrow, any expectations? Maybe Stella has some.
Yeah, I mean the ECB's. The question is, what are they going to be doing with? Are they going to expand their balance sheet? How are they gonna match the dovishness of the FOMC? I mean, that's really what it boils down to, right? Are they gonna
Yeah,
are they gonna because when expectations, well, when rates are basically at zero, now the question that moves the market is how long are you going to be at zero? Because as far as the Fed's concerned, we're going to stay low for years, but you know are we going to be able to get a is the ECB going to be able to match or exceed those expectations? So
Blake,
um
if
yo
everybody has rates at zero, then perhaps what's going to start mattering more is who's going to get the highest inflation, because nominal rates stuck at zero, it means that real rates are now only based on inflation. So
right.
that's one point. And another point is perhaps with everybody being stuck at zero for years, then real economic data will start mattering once again, since there is no other
yeah, there's no
way to.
interest rate disadvantage or advantage.
Yeah.
Great point.
Yeah, great point. And yeah, so now is the real question is regarding inflation. Are they going to be able to engineer any? Are they going to be able to lift inflation expectations to a point where we actually start creating some inflation? I think the jury's out. You know what I mean? So anyway, what I'm gonna just try to get some of this analysis done really quick. Any bounce in the cable back to 130 is probably going to find sellers now. Support is going to be at 128.20. So I know we're kind of in between right now. So I'm gonna write 128.20. Resistance 130. And I think resistance at 130 is going to be pretty significant. We are in a range. We're not bullish the cable anymore, and the euro. I'm going to keep us in range while we're out of this channel. So just keep that in mind. All right. Let's go over to the Aussie. So the Aussie is bouncing off of this support here. We're bouncing off of this is that previous channel that we were in. And so if Forex Analytics, our analysis last night was, the Aussie may find support at the 71.75 previous channel support, previous channel support, but RSI is pointing lower. So we could see 71 on a break of support. So, as we were coming down there, we got down to, 79, 71.90. And I mean, this is an upsloping trend line. So, that's why we, stopped short of it. But you can see that is pretty significant today. So I'm going to say that 72 cents or 71.90, I want to get specific, is support. Resistance now, any move back up towards 73 should offer resistance. And let's go over to the key, and we're going to keep that in range as well. Kiwi, we found support at the 618 retracement, and you can see the spike low. So that makes this really important for today. That comes in at 66 cents. Okay. And let's see, hold on really quick. I was just looking at something. Sorry. So resistance now, it should be, see that spike right there? And there's another spike right here. So that all comes in around 66. I'm going to call it 66.75 just to round it in between. And we're going to stay in range here. The dollar Canadian. Now, big move yesterday. Obviously, out of this, we've been talking about the divergent Canadian for a while. And, the last couple of weeks, we finally started to break down and tried to catch up a little bit with the move that we saw in Aussie and Kiwi. But now that the Aussie and Kiwi look like it's peaked, dollar Canadian looks like it's, potentially bottom. Now we have the Bank of Canada today, obviously. So now we have to expect any dip down to 131.70 to be supported. And I'm actually going to turn that into bullish because we have broken out. So now resistance is at 32.60. And what I'm expecting here is an eventual move to the 200-day moving average, which is way up here. But, obviously we got a lot of resistance up at 133 next in the event that we break out. So with the Bank of Canada today, we might do something like this, right? Or, if we just are bull flagging, we might just, just take off to the upside. It's quite possible. So it depends on what the Bank of Canada says and, how hawkish or dovish they are. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. Dollar Mexican peso. Dollar Mexican peso is, trading pretty heavy. We really rejected all of this resistance. Now you see the arrows are up there because I drew that for Forex Analytics people yesterday because, we were looking at this. Right. So, I mean, for now, 21.95 is obviously really big resistance. And I think we're bearish while we're below it. Now, we are stopping on the support here, which is basically 21.50. Okay. But while we're below that 21.95, and I'm going to put an asterisk here because I think that is pretty significant. We have to get above that to shift back over to range. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Swissy. So Swissy, 92 cents. Obviously, that is where we're struggling. That's the spike low here. Previous support, it's current resistance. It all comes in at 92 cents. And then 92.50, remember, is the big, it's the previous trend line. So we have to stay bearish while below it. And one of the other things is if stocks do turn lower, there's a risk that the Swiss continues to gain strength. So it's hard for me to turn bullish the dollar Swiss just yet, but we have some work to do to turn bullish. We have to get above this, 92.50 up here. That's 92.40. I know, but there's this dotted trend line. It's broken trend line. So anyway, we got to clear all that to really turn bullish here. So we're still bearish while we're below this, this area, if you will. Okay. Yeah, while we're below that area, we just kind of stay bearish still. US dollar, Norwegian krona. Now, this was a big move yesterday. Big rip higher. We ripped past that 906 level. That 906 is now support. 920 is resistance, and that's that previous support. So, oh, shoot. I'm sorry, I didn't finish the Swissy. Let me go back and finish that. Support is oh, I'm sure any dip down to 90.50 would be supported. Okay. US dollar, Norwegian krona, what did I say? 9.06 is now support. 920 is resistance. I'm going to put it in range, but we clear this 920 level and we'll have to flip to bullish. Now remember, crude is, it has broken down. Now we are recovering a little bit today. Yes, we are, but crude oil is rolling over, and we're bouncing off of horizontal support. You guys should all know that. If you're Forex Analytics subscribers, you should all know that was pretty key. So now any rally back up to here, which is 38.50. Okay. So like if we get a move like this, right, then the US dollar Norwegian krona may be very limited on its downside. So, we have this US dollar Norwegian krona, we might only pull back to 904, 905, and then, and then bounce. So anyway, you got to be careful with that US dollar Norwegian krona. It still has the risk of squeezing. US dollar Japanese yen, as you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of the yen and what it's currently doing right now. 106.50 is still resistance, a little bit of a trend line there. I know the upper end of its range is right here, but hold on really quick, guys. Excuse me 1 second. Dang it. Hold on. Almost there. Okay, so anyway, well, we're getting a little bit of a bounce here in the, hold on. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of a bounce in the cable. 106.50 is still resistance. And support is going to be, obviously down here at 105.10. Hold on really quick. Just talking to the guys in the chat room, all the Forex Analytics subscribers there. Okay. So let's go to the dollar index. Here's your dollar index stalling ahead of 94. Now 94, and remember, this is all previous support over here. That all comes in at 93.50 or 93.70, but I'm really more concerned with 94. So 94 level resistance. Okay. Support 93, because this is the previous channel. So dips to that previous channel should offer support. Oops. And let's take a look. And that's also range. We're, well, I mean, I guess we still have to be bearish while we're below this. We really have to get above 94 to turn to range. Gold. Let's go over to gold. And as you guys know, gold still is above this 1900 level. Let me move this because this is not as important as this. This trend line's still holding, or we're below it. However, 1905 is really still key. Okay. Or we just call it 1900. Still key. 1940 should, and that's the underside of this trend line, that should offer resistance. 1945. Okay. And let's go over to the S&P. Oops. Okay, so the S&P, we spiked lower below this support. Got a lot of people short down here. We were oversold, but notice that relative strength was not divergent. Okay, it was actually just, we saw some selling. So now any rally back up to like this 3,400 is probably going to be, remember, this is a big breakout point. So that's probably going to find sellers now. So 3,400 should be resistance. And support now. That spike low is very important. So that's 32.90. And we are range bound. All right, guys. So there is your bias chart. It is finished. And there you go. I know it's a little messier, but that's usually what happens when you get into a possible trend change, is you start to see a little bit more messier, indicators as far as trends go. And you can see a lot of them have gone, flipped a range. Some of them are, in process of turning from bullish to bearish. So Dale, Steve, Stelios, good morning.
Good
Hey, mate.
morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey guys, I need to reiterate, if you have not signed up for the Traders Summit event, it's going to be huge. It's going to be enormous. I'm really looking forward to it. We have multitude of great speakers for 3 days. Check them all out. Make sure you get registered so you get your live spot. What else did I want to mention about well, I guess I need to mention that, register, and please do us a favor, a couple favors. First of all, visit our sponsors that are down here. They are the ones that, make this an event that, that you can attend for free. So just at least click around, see what they do, see what they offer. And also, when you see us on social media, if you see like a tweet from, the Forex Analytics account, or myself, or Steve, or Stelios, you see something regarding the Traders Summit, please do us a favor and retweet it. Or if you see us on, Facebook, share it with your friends, please do that, because it really helps us out. And, that's a way of us, continuing to market and, getting the word out about the Traders Summit. So, and then also, Steve, Stelios, we have a special coming up with Forex Analytics too in the next couple of weeks. So if you guys are, been waiting to use Forex Analytics, you're going to get that opportunity sometime in the very near future to use it at a discounted rate, right?
Yes, within the
That
next
is
few
correct.
days, actually.
All right, very
The
good.
end of
So,
September is a blockbuster.
it is.
Yep.
And you know what? We're also going to give you guys an opportunity to win some Forex Analytics gear, free, like shirt, cup, mouse pad.
AR-15.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're going to figure out we're going to figure out something on how to give away some gear. All right, guys. Well, hey, I'm going to pass it over to you. Everybody have a great trading session. I'll see you on the daily roundup in 4 hours. And good luck for the Bank of Canada.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Blake.
Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, Steve.
Hey man.
Hey, guys.
So today seems to be risk on day. You're gonna expect one, after 3 or 4 days of sell off, but we have to see how that develops. And my view is still that we get a few buy the dippers around, but I think we're going lower. And tech is obviously leading the way lower. I think the Nasdaq was down 4.5% yesterday, and it was leading on the way up. It's going to be leading on the way down. It kind of makes sense. Currencies are, they're going to follow risk and the dollar, and I do think that the dollar will probably strengthen a bit more. Even though I'm a bull in the medium term, I'm a bear in the dollar in the medium term. I think with risk off, it's going to spike again. Probably not as much as last time around in March, but I think we will see. That's why I have closed most of my Norway longs, and most of my silver longs only have 1 quarter left. Although silver and gold are very resilient, I must say I'm very impressed. We said this yesterday. I'm very, very impressed. I have a quarter on, but I really, really want it to go to 21. But anyway, so
I don't think you'll get that lucky, but
yeah. Well, I'll reconsider. I'll look at price action and reconsider. But I have been lightening up quite a bit because I do expect some kind of correction. This madness can't go on forever. I do think that equity indices are going to go a lot higher in the very long term, but in the short term, we should see some kind of correction, especially since everybody now knows that we're only ever going up. So oil is an interesting one. If you remember the last few days here on the webinar, I was looking at the weekly chart. If you put US oil on the weekly chart, and the same with the WTI-CO USD, whatever it's called, it's been losing momentum, and I was showing this. There you go. It's losing momentum into this zone. I have the exact same zone, and I was showing, and I said, look, this is not good. Momentum is stalling, plus everything happening globally. We might get another risk-off move. I said, if you've been long oil and making profits, just take them. That's what I think, and I think we're probably going to go a little bit lower. How low?
Take your profits and buy 2-week calls in Tesla for like $5,000 price or something like that, right?
Yeah, don't get me started on Tesla. But
I mean, people that loved it at $500 post split, they must really love it at 300 something, right?
Yeah.
What's that? 40% from the high?
The high was 500. It's like 340 now or whatever. So yeah, it's
30%. Wow.
Still, it's if you ask me, best case scenario. I mean, very best case scenario with all the optimistic assumptions. It's currently trading at 10 times what it should be trading after this pullback. My opinion, post split, fair value, $20.
Yeah, it's a bit extreme, but yeah.
I don't think Elon Musk, if he hears that, Steve, he's not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure
he'll only be a billionaire.
Yeah, he's made enough.
Okay.
But otherwise, the main news again is the cable and the pound in general, and we are not getting any progress. Although Barnier is supposed to be meeting with the Brits today, I think. So more discussions, and the Irish Prime Minister said today, we have to make sure any negotiation, any agreement is fair on both sides. Guys, you're really late. You have to get something done here. But they're going to be talking some more, and they really only have like a month or so to actually agree on something. I stand by my view that I think they will agree on something. I don't know what it's going to be, but that's how I've compared this to a divorce. This thing is going to happen, and you're just trying to figure out who gets what and how it gets split. And I think they're going to do something. So
take the dogs, leave the kids.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to wait for Euro Pound 92 to 93, probably closer to 93, given the momentum and the force that it's moving. I am known for being a little bit early on my trades, so I'm gonna
hopefully only on your trades.
Ask my wife. So that's what I'm waiting for in the pound, and otherwise, there's been no real data out. Swiss unemployment. Who cares? Mexican CPI, who cares? Really, it's the Bank of Canada today and the ECB tomorrow, which theoretically, nothing big has changed, although we have got a big, not a spike, but a big increase in COVID cases in Europe. So the ECB is definitely going to mention that. Let's see what happens more. Actually, I have to run for 2 minutes. Can you take over, Steve? And I'll be right back. Okay. I'll be right back.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hey, Steve, I heard some market chatter about the ECB not wanting the euro to be above 118.50. Have you heard anything like that?
I don't think they're gonna break protocol and seriously comment about the exchange rate. I don't think so. So far, they've kept comments about the exchange rate, even when it was much higher in the past, at a very, very, superficial level. I doubt this is going to change, although you never know. I mean, it's clearly a race to the bottom for all fiat currencies because, what is more than obvious is that central banks, in essence, have an under-the-table agreement to keep FX volatility rather subdued with, not any huge swings between major currencies, as fiat currencies, as having to do with the real value, are plummeting, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Okay.
Anything else, Dale, you want us to have a look at?
Gold silver ratio. What do you think down here?
Gold silver ratio, actually,
could we have a correction there?
Is has stabilized. It has been losing momentum. You can also clearly see it here, from the RSI divergence. Yeah. Having said that, that is that is for no reason an indication that we're done. Just look at this massive move
of a decade in compressed.
Yeah, from 129.3 to 69 roughly, and so far we haven't managed to really make any progress to the upside. I mean, you never know. I mean, we might accelerate to the upside and finally put on a stronger correction, but in all honesty, I wouldn't want to be fading this move because I find no reason why it can continue towards like 60, 50, even 40. I mean, historically speaking, prices still rich in the gold silver ratio. Of course, the easy money has already been made in this trade, and we kept talking about it, near the highs. So I'm not saying that you can't still make money to the downside. Actually, just by trend trading, you should be looking to sell any rallies if you want to be involved with this. But I mean, pretty sure the big easy part of the move has already been complete. I mean, there is no way that we're going to see an equivalent move to the downside. It's practically impossible to happen. So I think that now the balance is more fairly valued than it was. I mean, at 130 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold, it was a bargain. It really was a bargain. Somebody's asking also about gold platinum ratio, which it's a good idea to have a look at it. So here's the gold platinum ratio, oppositely from the gold silver ratio. Somebody could actually make, first of all, look at this. We've been in a prolonged uptrend, right? I mean, let's not go back to ancient history, but 2008 financial crisis, the ratio was at 0.42. We've been in an uptrend since, and we're currently trading at like 2.11. And to be fair, I mean, even this recent move lower doesn't have impulsive characteristics. So I'd have to say above 220, you should be looking for more upside in the gold silver ratio. So platinum doesn't really look like it's ready to produce an equivalent move like silver did, at least not against gold. Now, platinum against the dollar I have no reason to believe that it can't actually also benefit from very healthy rebound. As long as we're trading above like 875, I think the chances are that we can see that type of a move. The recent pullback can practically end up being, we can't be 100% sure of the formation so far, but looks to me like a pennant, might prove to be a flag, who knows. Anyhow, so far looks correct to me. Even if you look at the RSI, we went from an overbought reading, we reached almost 80, we diverged, and now we've in essence reset the overbought conditions. RSI is consolidating in the middle of the range, which tells me that it's very likely that we're going to see another strong move to the upside, breaking through this formation. Could propel platinum towards 1040, which is that previous high that we had in the beginning of the year in January. Let me have a look at the rest of your questions. Question: if a country has 26 trillion in debt, how does inflation inflate away that debt? Even if inflation rises, you still owe 26 trillion in debt. Yes, you still owe 26 trillion in debt, but 26 trillion in debt in 10 years from now, it's not the same 26 trillion they were today, simply because the purchasing power of the same dollars is going to be much, much lower. For example, just go watch an old movie and see how much Dale actually is the perfect person to tell us. I mean, he's in the how much did the car, Dale? How much did the car cost when you were
my
when you were
first
in your
Model
20s?
T was $400. My
Come on,
first Model T, Henry. I was working at Ford
how
on
much?
the
How much was it?
assembly line, and Mr. Ford gave me a raise so I could buy a car.
Oh my God, you'll forever remain a teenager. How much was it? How much did your first car cost?
I don't know, about 2,500, 3,000.
Yeah, $2,500, $2,500 for a car. That was
It was new too.
yeah. That was what year, Dale?
Let's see, 1970.
1970.
69.
You bought a
69. I was
brand new
16.
car for
Yeah.
$2,500.
Yeah.
The equivalent today is something like, what would you say?
25, 30.
25, 30 for that type of a car. Okay,
Yeah. 10
so
times.
there is your answer. Debt that you had in 1970s in today's prices, 50 years later, would be worth 1/10. Right?
Actually,
That's
it was a Chevy Malibu convertible.
nice.
And in Chicago, when, say around March, when it was still 30, 40 degrees, I'd put the top down, roll up the windows, and blast the heater so I could have the top down.
Yep, I know
Huh?
exactly what you mean.
All right, man.
One of my best friends, Jason's, my son's godfather, he bought with his first money. He always wanted a BMW convertible.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about 1999.
Yeah.
So he loved it so much that even through winter he even had like heated seats. So
Right.
he would he would blast the radiator. He would also put on the heated seats, and unless it was raining, he would have the top down.
Yeah.
And it was like, Mihaly, I mean, yeah, it's lovely, dude, but
Yeah.
why don't we close the top? He was like, I can give you a jacket.
You could, all the chicks could see you when the top's down. Anyway.
Yeah. So that's how debt is getting inflated away. Dale, did you put your Malibu on blocks?
Ride the curve. I wish I had. Yeah. I still love the classics. I'd love to buy like a GTO or something like that from the 60s, Mustang from there. Anyway, they're still beautiful if they're in good shape.
You know,
And they
with
don't
the
depreciate either. Yeah, NG's saying they
with
don't.
the exception of one single car, I was never into antiques. I mean, you know, having to do with cars because technology is important. You know, I'd always prefer to have a newer one. There is only one exception. And then we're going back to charts.
Okay.
This one. An Integrale Martini edition of 1993. That's the only exception.
Was that an Italian car?
Yes, yes. Lancia,
Okay.
Lancia and Delta Integrale, one of the best racing cars.
Okay.
WRC.
Yeah.
So there's somebody asking about USD CAD. So USD CAD, you know, I want to see what's going to happen.
Dollar's
today.
getting hammered now.
Yeah,
well, I wouldn't say
and
hammered, but you
let's
know,
see if we get any news. Stocks
bailed
are
me out.
rallying. Dollar has reversed lower. Let's have a look at the euro. Let's have a look at the euro. Euro is higher.
And the pound's only
the
down
pound,
13 after
yeah,
being down
the
90.
pound has retraced almost completely the losses of the day. Was it something coming out?
Canadian, I think there was central.
Trying to find if there was something coming out. Let me see, Squawk. EU Council President Might withdrawal agreement was concluded and ratified by both sides. Has to be applied in full. That was 6 minutes ago.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, mate. What did we have?
ECB forecast said to show more confidence in economic outlook, sending euro higher.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Morning,
So
everybody.
it's purely a function of the euro then, which we know has a huge influence in what
Is
the
that
dollar is doing.
Bloomberg Joe?
Yeah, that's Bloomberg Joe actually.
Oh my God! Can
Morning,
you turn
everybody.
turn your
Good morning,
webcam
Joe.
on?
Not too early. It's too early in the morning.
All right, buddy.
He's probably still half naked or something.
And you know what? Joe posts great charts on LinkedIn. Follow Joe on LinkedIn. He does a lot of posting there, chart of the day and everything. So, you know, just because Joe isn't real vocal and does a lot of things behind the scenes, you got to follow him. He's got a great eye technically. That's my extremely
Dale.
accurate and humble opinion. Okay.
I totally agree, Dale. By the way, you know, ECB coming out more hawkish, you know, puts even a lower probability in any chances that the ECB is going to come out and talk down the exchange rate. So I'm assuming market participants are, you know, considering that. Now, having to do with people that are asking, let's go to the 4-hour chart, by the way, people that are asking about the bounce in equities. First of all, you know, keep in mind that we are in a market that's been indoctrinated to buy the dip. So even if this proved to be the high, which statistically speaking, it's a low probability scenario, especially considering what central banks are doing. But even if that proves to be the high, you understand that there's going to be a lot of resistance from the buy the dippers. So even if this proves to be the high, there's going to be a lot of attempts to buy weakness. What remains to be seen is how the market is going to react to these attempts. Because, for example, taking this attempt, you know, the only thing they managed to create is a bearish pennant. We talked about that yesterday, and then we broke through it. Talking about this rebound attempt, I would be very careful here because, as you see, this is the Nasdaq, by the way. The reason I'm giving more focus to the Nasdaq is what we've said multiple times. The Nasdaq and a very, very limited number of tech stocks have been actually pushing indices higher. So, you know, it's worth noting what the Nasdaq is doing because, you know, if the Nasdaq actually fails, then, you know, the rest of the market is going to follow. So the Nasdaq is back testing, in essence, this horizontal support resistance area roughly at 11,250. So far, it seems to be stalling here. Definitely the first area of resistance. I would be very careful here. There is no guarantee that the market is just not going to reject this resistance once again and continue lower. Keep in mind that especially since a lot of the retail crowd jumped, you know, on this bandwagon, there is a lot more pain that this market can deliver, especially considering that fundamentally speaking, you know, valuations are completely decoupled from any type of reality. So I'm not arguing that sooner rather than later they're not going to try to jump in and save it. But that's not necessarily going to happen after like just 3-4 days of a sell-off. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more pain in the short term. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Nasdaq trading within the next week, even down to 10,300. Keep in mind that we've broken through this ascending channels support, and that's definitely a first bearish development. By the way, where is Grega? Grega, I think, promised he's going to jump on
I'm
today.
here.
Why don't you say something then?
Yeah, I was just charting and completely forgotten an hour actually.
Okay, why don't you are you promoted? Let me see. Okay, why don't you grab the screen? Go ahead and tell us what you think about this pullback, Grega. What's the nature of this pullback? Yeah, I know what you're going to say. It's probably corrective, but what type of a correction? Is this the first leg of a correction or
Yeah,
something
actually,
deeper?
you know, I'm not so convinced that this will be proved as a correction. I mean, it's a very aggressive sell-off, as you said
It is.
yourself. So for now, I'm just expecting more weakness. Maybe some would label this as a potential wave C drop. But I think that this drop will not be so sharp and so easy to recognize as a completed. I think that there will be some failure moves. So I'm referring to this flat correction that can be unfolding here for upcoming wave B. So still, I think that this swing high here from yesterday can be actually retested, and then we see a real sell-off either into wave CO4 or maybe into some stronger.
So in any case, you are in sell the rally mode for the short to medium term.
Yes, and as you said yourself, I mean, Nasdaq 100 definitely made a very sharp reversal here. More importantly, we have seen reversal and overlap with this minor correction here. So if that would be the previous turn from the highs, if that would be kind of some kind of a wave 4, this overlap should not happen. And since it happened, it means and confirms that we have a top in place. So I'm looking for this trend line maybe to be retested of this Elliott wave channel, and then looking for another dip back towards this wave 4 support levels. And then let's see what happens down there. So I think that there is still risk off in the table, and I just think that there can be opportunities on the short side from higher prices.
Since Jane was asking about the DAX and you're on the indices, do you see something different with the DAX? I mean, the structure is not exactly the same, to be honest.
Yes, the structure is not the same because European markets were much weaker compared to the US stocks.
Yeah, DAX is more historically more correlated to the Dow Jones than to anything that's tech.
Yeah, exactly. So, but still, even here, if you see from the highs, you have an aggressive sell-off, and now it looks like we are rallying here in 3 waves. So resistance actually is not far away. Definitely looking for a spike above wave A, and then I think that tomorrow when we have the ECB, we will get a lot of answers about this price.
Does that mean that your medium-term target for the DAX is a lower low than that low?
Yes, I would be looking for retest of those September levels.
Huh, interesting. Okay, very interesting. There is somebody else that's asking, and you know, I'm trying here to connect the questions because they do connect. Somebody's asking about Aussie and Kiwi, and obviously we've seen that since risk assets have faltered, you know, Aussie and Kiwi are showing some weakness as well. Do you think that's going to be the beginning of a corrective move there as well, or do you see them actually holding up much better than indices?
As you can see here, I mean, definitely it's not easy to fight this kind of an uptrend. It was a very stable recovery from March, quite nice, impulsive price action here. Sorry. But looks like that we are now stepping into wave 4. We could retest lower support. I think that around 0.7 is a very nice psychological level and quite attractive for now on this downside target, considering in the risk of sentiment. Looking at this intraday chart here, I think that even here we could be dealing with a flat formation. Now, if I would say that maybe wave C has already finished here, well, it was quite small compared to
Yeah,
wave
it doesn't
A.
look very
So it
compelling.
doesn't look very clear. So I think that that's probably the best scenario at the moment.
Irregular B.
Yes, exactly. And
See what I've learned from you, Wizard, in the last 3.5 years?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. How's your knee?
I'm doing better, but sport is coming back in 6 or 8 months, so I have a lot of time
to rehab.
For recovery.
Well, your work doesn't need any rehab. You picked it up right away after being, kind of out of touch for a few days, Grega.
Yeah, I cannot be without charts. Even laptop was in hospital rooms.
Oh yeah, you're an
how many strains of coronavirus did you contract in the hospital?
Probably the safest place to be, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, but it's strange that you must not leave the hospital at all or go on a walk around the hospital.
And you can't have visitors anymore. It's not a good time to get sick. You're in there alone.
Yeah,
with the nurses and medical staff.
I cannot imagine someone to be there. I mean, month or more, or even more.
Yeah. All right. Well, I do have an interview, guys. Thanks for jumping in.
Dude, that's it.
Huh?
Time flies. Oh my God, Grega, can you join us like?
Yeah,
tomorrow?
I will join tomorrow or on Friday.
Good, because we barely had time to touch on like 3 charts. Okay, great.
All right, Greg. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Heal with Godspeed, and I'm going to get Crypto Night set up here now.
Crypto Night, huh?
Yeah. He has a lance and armor and everything. So I'm looking forward to. We had that 3 drive in Ethereum. Anyway, Crypto Night, welcome to Face.
Hey, thank you so much, Dale. Pleasure to be here.
All right, nice to have you. Nice to meet you. Have you used Zoom before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so you could share your screen?
Sure.
That green box. You ask people if they used Zoom before, like 99.9% of the people, especially since the pandemic.
Post-COVID, everybody has used all those programs, right?
Yeah, Zoom especially, so here you go. All right, so here's Crypto Night looking at Bitcoin. So before we get to the charts and the markets, boy, that looks like a nice little pattern there. I'd like to ask you a little bit about your journey. So before you were knighted and you were just a peasant and a serf like the rest of us out there looking to make a few bucks in the market, what were you doing and what led you into the business?
Thank you for asking. So basically, I am a software QA professional back in India. So yeah, I'm into IT industry. So being in crypto since 2017, used to get a lot of information regarding the tech and how things were going. Data mining, and stuff like that back in 2016, 17. Then we had, let's say, we had demonetization out here in India, which was a spectacle. So.
Oh, you mean when Modi pulled high denomination cash currency from the market? Exactly. What was that like? A lot of people, especially here in the U.S., although we're starting to believe that anything that could happen elsewhere can happen here and even magnified. What was that like for you when a lot of people keep cash on hand? Was it a loss of wealth for you when they did that?
See, I really don't, like to talk about the political stuff, but I can.
Well, that's economic.
Yeah,
It's
I
a,
mean, it's but in India, it's all related. So about the economic, front,
okay.
on the economic front, let me give you a little perspective of, how things went here. So the thing is, the infrastructure was not in place at that time. Is currently still not in place to pull off such a, spectacle, or
Draconian
to
move. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it was not there. It is still not there. The intentions were fine, but it ended up leading into a big, a massive hole. When it comes to, that there was a huge gap that was created between the actual workers, the working class, and the bankers, or the elite. So it was, the gap increased,
Yeah.
and country is still struggling to come out of it. I'm not sure when that can be, when the ball starts rolling. On the outside, it looks, they did a good job and stuff like that. It's all PR marketing, but in my opinion, it was not a good move. Many people lost
But
businesses. Many people lost. I mean, it did not went well with
yeah,
majority
and
of
then
the
a year
country.
later, a year later, now you guys are dealing with COVID, which only exacerbates that situation, right?
Exactly. I mean, India is such a dense and such a diverse place, with all the efforts that can be put in here. Still cannot cannot be something that can handle such a situation. I mean, I know the official numbers are somewhere around 4 million people plus. However, I personally, according to my sources or resources, I mean, I think it's more than 180 million.
Hmm.
So it's pretty bad. It's pretty
Yeah.
bad. And it's not
Okay,
going
so
away soon.
let's get back to what most of
Sure.
the world worships, and that's money. And I believe since your focus is crypto and the experience you had with currency, I'd imagine if I went through that too, I'd be looking for an alternative form of currency. But I see you have 4-hour charts and RSI showing divergences in Bitcoin. Are you a self-taught because of your software background, or did you have any mentors or books that influenced you on how you see technical analysis today?
I mean, you asked a pretty a pretty good question here, because I get this quite
That's what I
often.
do.
Yeah, so correct. That's great. The thing is, with my background, I'm not from this, industry, so I'm actually self-taught. I have practiced. I've watched and practiced millions and millions of charts, be it 1 minute to 5 minute to 1 day to 1 week, 1 month,
Yeah.
day in day out. I have, so I work with like Elliott waves. My TA, it revolves around Confluence. Elliott waves, pitchforks, fibs. EMA strategies, the momentums,
Everything.
the Ichimoku cloud. So yeah, exactly. I'm not part of any cult group.
Okay.
So the thing is, if two strategies or three strategies say, okay, this is a support, right, or it's a resistance, right, I go with it. It's
Okay.
plain and
So
simple.
there are a lot of momentum indicators, and I'm a proponent. RSI is a big part of my work. I even renamed it to Real Simple Implicator. Don't look up implicator; it's not a real word. But how did you come to choose RSI as your momentum indicator over things like MACD and stochastics and others? Was there some type of reliability, or just maybe you're like me, you just get comfortable with something and you're a creature of
Um,
habit?
yeah. So to be honest, RSI is fine. I mean, it's more of a basic indicator, but it's good. It does the job for me, as far as my charting is concerned. So it does the job. You've got OBVs, you've got different ADX and ADIs and stuff like that. But this does the job for me, because this is not the prime stuff that I actually look at. But when it comes to, in comparison to, let's say, MACD or Storch, it's more reactive, I would say. Those are more, lagging. And since I use, fibs and, pitchforks and Elliott waves and stuff like that, so all those techniques are more, they don't lag, or they lag less, so to say. So it complements, complements well, I would say.
Okay, so TFs are important. I know you're showing a 4-hour chart. Would you describe your trading as day trade, swing trade, position trade, average duration of your trades? Is this your favorite time frame for trading Bitcoin, 4-hour?
So in my opinion, Bitcoin works the best on 4-hour, other
Why?
than the 45-minute.
I never even used a 45-minute. People are using that now, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they are using right now, but yeah, for let's say day or intra-trade days, then 45 makes a little more sense. But I think 4-hour is one of the most accurate, time frames for Bitcoin, because with my experience, I can tell you, I really don't think, the volatility, when it is there, right? Daily and weekly, I don't know, it kind of lags. The action has already happened. So 4-hour still gives you, a decent, outlook. It works pretty fast. Like for over here, so it's just like a normal pitchfork with like slightly different settings that I use. So if you see here, it's a simple ABC that's in place. So, this is where 12,450 was, my initial target. So this is where I closed my longs. I opened longs again somewhere around 11,400, this area. Wasn't sure if it, the move up was done or not, right? But, I had this place that where I wanted to get into longs. So this was like a more of a B wave. Now it's the C wave that's coming down, like ABC correction. So I would say, on 4-hour, if you see, it's just pretty plain and simple. It goes down, it bounces. So this is the median line of the pitchfork, and when it is unable to flip this in at least like 3 to 4 candles, I think that is the decision that I get ready. I don't even have to look at the RSI or any other indicator. So this is the position I know that all these indecision candles, and then this median line is unable to be flip to support. So I know things are not looking good for Bitcoin. If I go on a 1-hour chart, it will give you more clarity. But so it went down, boom, 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 and here we are.
All right. So before I get to your expectations on the formation that looks like a little bit of a falling wedge, I have a question from one of our viewers, and I didn't even know this. Can you still trade Bitcoin from India, as the Royal Bank of India have blocked cryptocurrencies? I didn't know that was happening in India.
No, they haven't blocked. They cannot block. No one can
block.
Haven't blocked. It's just not there. We have multiple exchanges that are working.
Okay.
Wazirex is one of the exchange that's integrated with Binance, one of the biggest exchanges. So that's all right.
So that's misinformation, Mehul, that you're saying.
Exactly. Okay. It's not well taken by the government, or let's say by the authorities. But it's
until
not
they have their own, right?
Exactly. So they've got the gold, so they need the other assets in place. So
okay. So what are your expectations? So what are your expectations out of this formation here? Just a rally back to one of your median lines, or could this be a significant long entry here?
It's on a daily or weekly, it looks pretty bad. For a long, that's for sure. On a shorter time frame, it's a combination of your hidden bearish divergence, where your RSI is making higher highs and the price is making lower highs. However, if you see from the support, there is almost like not a single candle that, other than these two, there is not a single candle that's being closed underneath or near the support. So it is giving the wicks. People are expecting the 9600 gap, 9300 CME gap to be filled. I don't think it stops there. If it goes there, it goes to 88 to 92. If it breaks that, then it goes to 7Ks. But if they want to front run it, now everyone is expecting, and which could happen is that it goes a little lower, okay, and then it starts making a move up towards the median line or any of these lines, and people would start shorting it. People would short the bounce. But I believe if there is a move up, then the shorters would be trapped. The leveraged players would be trapped, and it goes higher. And it goes higher for like about 2 weeks or so. If it flips this brown line, let's say at 11,200-ish area, I think it goes back to like 12K, 13Ks.
Okay, so that would be new highs for this
and,
recovery move. Okay.
That could be a truncated impulse as well, because ideally, according to this pitchfork, if I just use this pitchfork, this pink line is not the end. Ideally, it goes to the purple line. Okay, most of the time it does go to the purple line, but I'm a little skeptical because there is another pitchfork that I removed now. I have to look for it. On the way up, it did not go till the purple line. It just went to the pink line, and then it got rejected hard. So on the other side, I expect that could be a move. All right, that could be a move, because if I go on a weekly chart, so this is the weekly chart, okay. So this is one of the weekly charts. So over here as well, if you see, there is still kind of let's say, RSI here is making lower lows. The price is still making higher lows. So sooner or later, I do expect a bounce. Now it could be a lower highs. Okay, it could make a higher high. We'll get no.
Okay, so it could do, basically what you're saying here is it could do anything.
I would say it will make a bounce. Now I have marked a couple of days. One is 11th September. Ironically, that's 11th September, and 23rd is the weekend. 23rd, I believe. 21st or 23rd is the Friday. So these two dates are important. Now, if it starts moving up,
why is it some type of proprietary cycle work you do, or why are these dates important?
It's okay. So basically, according to the Fib timelines, these two areas make sense. These, Fridays, if I'm not wrong, I'm right about the 9th September. I'm not sure about it's 21st September or 23rd September. Could be 21st September. But according to the Fib timelines, these dates make more sense.
Okay, the Fib timelines. Okay.
And yeah, so what the other thing, what I think is about, see, there is a lot of tether that's been moved to the exchanges, and the narrative or the let's say the flavor of this season for crypto has been, mint some tether on Tron network, send it to Bitfinex, swap it for ERC20 tether, send it back to Huobi, and pump Ethereum, use the Ethereum's profit to pump BTC. So that's been it's been happening for about 3, 4, 5 months now. Now the thing is, there is a lot of Tron, or let's say a lot of tether that's been lying around on the exchanges. The amount of BTC that was there, has almost been drained out in the dump. But the tether is still out there. Now the chart looks pretty bearish. If I just remove this pitchfork, chart looks pretty bearish. It's below this your weekly important resistance level. It is below this, right? So it looks ugly. It looks like it wants to get just fall back to 7Ks, 8Ks, 6Ks. But the ideal situation, in my opinion, would be to just pump it up, trap the late shorters, okay, and then go to like 12, 13K by these two dates, okay, and then have a rug pull, because then you got elections. You need some good news to be happening, that would affect dollar in a positive manner, affect, something in a positive manner, but negative for gold, silver, and Bitcoin to tank the market in late September and in October. And then in November or mid-November, they skyrocket. They start pumping again for the, let's say, 17 December to 18 December rally. So 17th, 18th December, they kind of top out again. But from November mid to December mid, they have like an exponential 25, 30 days of pretty good run, the cryptos and, gold and silver. But
there's a lot of belief that it's kind of a negative corollary investment. But I've noticed, like in March, it sold off with risk, that it's acting more like a risk on, risk off asset rather than, differentiating itself, like performing well when prices are under pressure. What's your take on it? Is it just a speculative instrument, or does it have any type of hedge diversification value like a lot of Bitcoin proponents say it does?
So it's both, to be honest, because the thing is, now it depends upon you. I mean, if you are like full on, crypto or let's say Bitcoin maximalist, then it makes sense that, in case or let's say dollar does go down, right? Like petrodollar went to zero. So basically when the fiat goes down, you'll have gold and silver sooner or later skyrocketing, and cryptos would be a, let's say, a medium that will be kind of medium to use some part of the fiat capital to be moved towards gold, silver, right? The thing is, crypto, as like any other asset, has a whale problem, and then the asset is pretty small, illiquid, and so there are big whales. So back in March, to when they had this crash from 9K to 3K, so there were big whales that they crashed about 21,000 Bitcoin, market price. They crashed it just to scoop up about few $1 billion worth of Bitcoin to just buy it. Now they are they are up by 2 or 3x by now.
Right.
But do they have the market to sell off again and exit right now? I don't think that the prices are that high. So they need to move the market higher, much higher, so the normies or normal people get into crypto and then they sell the top. So in this way, it has long-term vision. It will act as a hedge for sure, because even right now you won't be able to buy, I mean, people won't be able to buy silver or gold. The prices are dumping, let's say. They were dumping, but it was not available. Silver or gold were not available. Similarly, in future they won't be available to buy, so they have to move some of their fiat money. So like in Asia, they moved a lot of their dollars back into Tether, in anticipation of then you've got like two options. You keep it in Tether, so when dollar rises, you sell it back and get back to from Tether to dollar, or you have this option to get into BTC, pump it, make like a 50-70% run, whatever your targets are, and then move back to Tether and then back to fiat. So yeah, to your question, it is both ways. It is both ways. It is a hedge. It is kind of at least like 3 to 5 years long term, kind not looking very long term. It is a hedge, but yes, it is speculative and it's got like a real problem for sure.
Okay, from a trading perspective, how do you manage risk? Do you use physical hard stops on it, and what's the execution like if you do use stops? They run them by a ton or what? Have you had bad fills on stop losses if you use them? First of all, do you use them?
Yeah, I do, but
that doesn't sound convincing to me.
Yeah, I mean, see, stops, especially in crypto, it's not a best way to go, to be honest. If you know what you're trading, if you know how you're trading, then you won't have to go about it. So for example,
well, you sleep, right? What about when you're sleeping?
Then I do. then I do. But mostly I don't keep the trades, open at that time. But if I do, then I have stops. For example, so this is the setup I use, all right? So I've got like few 50 EMAs, I've got like 200 MAs, some SMAs, Ichimoku Cloud and stuff like that. So the thing is, on multiple time frames, if I see there is, decent amount of resistance right now, okay, I would be fine opening a short, but I would not be fine placing a stop because they might wick it out, and it happens all the time in crypto. That's how it is. So if I take a position, there is at least 2 or 3 reasons why I'm going long or short or whichever way I'm taking the trade. So the probability of it going wrong is not that high. And to be honest, that's what I'm personally known for in crypto world. The thing is that I really don't take trades, if it's not, suiting my setup and they don't go wrong that much. If they are going wrong, then I made a blunder, then I made a mistake and I cut it. I cut the trade.
Okay.
So yeah, if I'm awake and watching, the market, then I don't place stocks that often.
All right. So I see you're with the on your Twitter handle, you had the Burb Nest. If you'd like to show what you do over there and your business model and how people that have an interest in trading crypto could follow you, work with you, this would be a good time to show it.
Sure. I mean, I am the board member of, we have this website. Let me just open this website.
You're a member, or are you one of the mentors? I see they teach.
I am the board member, of the Burb Nest crypto community. So I teach people. I am the IT head over there, and one of the 3 board members, including Crypto Burb. So yeah, so we started this, the Burb Nest, started back in 2017.
And what does Burb stand for?
Burb, it's
instead of bird, it's close to bird, but it's not. What's a Burb?
Yeah. Burb is like Bitcoin parrot kind of a thing.
So okay. It's
a name, or let's say, it's a parrot.
I've learned I learned what a Burb is today. Okay. All right. So you teach.
Yes.
Are you a patient man?
I am. So
you have to be to teach, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Because I can tell you that I've worked for Dell, international services for about 4 years, about some 4 years, 4.5 years or so, and been training there, been training people on the floors, to training trainers to how to go about with the different sectors. So I have decent experience when it comes to teaching. So other than that, we have more than 9 to 10,000 people, members in our Discord. So and we have people from all around the world. So we have a team of about 15 people, that again is all around the world. So we are 24/7 answering questions, making calls, creating content, educational content, all on crypto, forex, stocks, commodities, and everything. So we are supporting them. So that's what it is. So this is our website, and
wow, it's a big organization.
Yeah, we recently ventured into a B2B sector. So we already have 3 to 4 partnerships that we already have. So we provide like an on-ramp services for the companies who want to come into crypto. We have developers, we have marketing team. So if somebody wants to get their product out, we have each and everything. So we've got 24/7 support, consultants, and we've got scanner. I just with the team we created the scanner for the cryptos, and as well as
I see you have PhDs that teach. Do you know where I received my PhD?
Where did you get?
The University of Hard Knocks. You ever hear of that college?
Not really. It sounds like Knox sounds important.
Not Fort Knox, the University of Hard Knocks, which means
Where is it?
just where is it? It's all in my head. All the mistakes and everything that I've made and seen hundreds of others make. So that was the university where I received my PhD, and really a pleasure meeting you. Can I ask this, because you're not the first one? What is the reason for remaining or being anonymous for you?
First of all, the thing is, we live in a in a world where privacy is like a luxury these days.
Right,
And
it is.
you might, for example, the part of the world where I am, probably crypto or stuff like that, related stuff is not, it does not digest well with the authorities.
Right.
Tomorrow, see, once you are doxxed, right? So once you are not an anon, right? So you have your identity out. It cannot be, reverted or cannot be reversed, but you can stay anon anytime you want. So it is more about security. It's more about privacy.
That's what I
And
thought.
and trust me, it is far more important because 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, you don't know where we are heading, right?
Yeah.
So
I know.
yeah, exactly. So
look, I'm in the
families,
U.S., so we don't know where we're heading November
Exactly.
3rd, if we're even going to have a peaceful transition of power. So anyway, uncertainty is a certainty now, that's for sure. And I'm glad to meet you. I could tell just from talking to you, you're a hardworking technician, and looks like you have looked at everything. Elliot, Andrew's pitchforks. I saw clouds on your chart, so I really appreciate your hard work and what you showed us, and hope that you and your loved ones remain untouched by this virus, and that pips just roll into your account from all the hard work you put into with your own trading and people you teach.
Thank you so much, Dale. And feeling is absolutely mutual. The thoughts are absolutely mutual. Wish you and the company, your loved ones, everyone, safety, security, and success. So that's
Okay.
what we can
And
pray
once you survive an interview with me, you're now my trading warrior brother. So want to thank you very much.
Sure. It's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you.
We'll do it down the line.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So that's going to be a wrap, everyone. Remember, don't just count your crypto, count your blessings, and we'll see you tomorrow. Dollars come off, and this is kind of what I was expecting. I'll see everyone tomorrow for the ECB. Good hunting. You're very welcome. Adios.